On the agenda tonight, we're going back to 1970. We're going to be taking a look at Sammi Smith, and she's going to be singing Help Me Make It Through the Night. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So this is another one of those situations where I hadn't heard Sammi Smith's voice before and hadn't heard about her as an artist, so it's great to have a listen to her voice. And we're going to be jumping into this, just a monster hit for her, written by Chris Christopherson, by the way, but just her voice is so unique. We're going to be jumping into it in exactly the same way that we do with every analysis video. We're going to be having the picture monitoring software on screen as well. And there's a link in the description below to the original song to this video that I'm watching. If you guys want to watch it and listen to it multiple times, let's have a listen and see how Sammi gets on.
Take the ribbon from my hair, shake it loose and let it fall, laying soft against your skin, like the shadows on the wall. Come and lay down by my side till the early morning light. All I'm taking is your time. Help me make it through the night. I don't care what's right or wrong, and I won't try to understand. Let the devil take tomorrow. Lord, tonight I need a friend. Yesterday is dead and gone, and tomorrow's outside, and it's sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night. And it's sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night. I don't want to be alone. Help me make it through the night.
And there we have it. The first thing that I thought when I heard Sammi's voice was contralto. The way that we start this song and the way that Sammi starts singing, her range, I mean, it is way down there. When you're talking about listening to a female vocal, she's down at the D sharp 3, I believe, and there's the proof on screen. The D sharp 3. And I mean, if I get the ranges up on screen so you can see exactly what's going on. When we're talking about the D sharp 3, we've got the D3 here and the D sharp 3 down here. And if you see at the top, when I say contralto, we're at the bottom end, actually beyond the lower end of the contralto range. So when I say that she is down there, you know, she really does have a low voice. And the good thing about it is that the D sharp 3 that she hits doesn't sound like it's low. And I'm just going to let you listen to it again. And I'll tell you what, we'll listen to it without the accompaniment so we can just hear Sammi's voice.
Take the ribbon from my hair.
Hair. So that's where she is. but her voice still just sounds great. It's not like, for most female vocalists, this would be a note that would sound like going because it's too low. But she's just all over this note. She's just in total control of it.
Shake it loose and let it fall.
Nah. You know, that is still a low note. I mean, the fact that I can hit those notes and it's nowhere near being high for me, so hopefully that's a good reference point to show you how low she is going with her voice, because generally with female vocalists, you know, if you're demonstrating things as a guy, you have to go an octave higher, so it's all, a bit of a mission to demonstrate things that female vocalists are doing, especially for me. But this voice, I mean, it has levels to it as well, or should I say gears. It's in that talking place, but it's obviously a low voice. And when we're talking about country music, and this was a sound, and Sammi was seen as, I think, probably one of the first female, or if the only female, outlaw country artists for there to be, because outlaw country was really all seen as the guys, and obviously the guys, when they were singing, they weren't hitting, you know, high notes in chest voice, you know, like an A4 or a B4 or C5, anything like that. They're not going to be pushing chest voice. It's all about the conversational quality to tell the story of the song. So when you're thinking about singers, country artists like Johnny Cash, for example, he sang where he spoke. And that's exactly the same vibe you get from this sound. And not only just the song as a whole, but Sammi's voice, that she's just speaking this. It sounds pitch perfect all the time, but when you look at it, you'll see how we are often between notes, and that's the expression of the voice just coming through. But I'm just going to let this play through.
Like the shadows on the wall.
See, that kind of thing where we've got those phrases that just come in where she's just so spot on, and even just being a little bit flat of the C4, it doesn't matter. And she's got this really cool natural vibrato in her voice as well.
Oh.
Nah. You know, you can just see that little wobble in there.
Come and lay down by my side.
I mean, that's great. That was actually flat of the D sharp 3, so she was even lower there. But just that, nah. She's got so much body in there. It's great because it shows that it's a note that she can use. It is in her range, and this is something that people often make the mistake of thinking that they themselves have got a huge range because they can make a noise on a particular note, but it's a whole different ball game to be able to make high-pitched noises, but then being able to sing and control them and give body to them and have control and vibrato and all the things that you need in order to sing a note convincingly. There's got to be technique in there. It can't just kind of be a noise, unless that's literally all you're doing is making noises. But let's listen on.
Till the early morning light. All I'm taking is your time.
I mean, I love that kind of thing where it's flat, but it doesn't register as flat because you're still listening to this voice.
All I'm taking.
All I'm taking. So she's not really getting up to that C sharp 4, but being slightly below the note is giving you a mood, it's giving you a feel.
Is your time. Help me make it through tonight. I don't care what's right or wrong.
Now, this is where I say, and when I said about gears in the voice, now Sammi's just kind of shifted gear here, because the D sharp 3 that we had before is an octave below this D sharp 4. And look where we're going up to, the G sharp 4. So she's going well over an octave higher now when we start getting into, like I said, it's changing gears. Her voice has gone to a different place, but the tonal consistency is still there. Have a listen.
I don't care what's right or wrong.
And she just kind of flies up there. Let's listen to the previous phrase.
Tonight. I don't care what.
Na-na-ha. So she's almost going up a full octave just with that na-na-ha, ha, and then kind of going up to there.
Right or wrong.
And again, the expression of that G sharp 4, of the ha, and just letting it kind of slide off. And that's the thing about this vocal, it's so expressive, because obviously it's got the freedom to go where it does, because we're talking about 1970 here, before digital pitch correction or anything like that was going on. So, but the F4, the F sharp 4, you can see how accurate these notes are. I always say that the great singers have got this ability to tell you a story in tune, but still get it to sound like they're talking.
And I won't try to understand.
And then you get that light and shade of now being between notes and not really hitting the pitches. And this is where it's ironic that this is as far out of tune as you can get, being between these lines perfectly with that first phrase.
And I won't try.
When she's going, no, no, that's what it registers as. Yeah, it registers as a G sharp 4, but it's as far away from that note as you can get. Like all of this expression here is not on a piano. You won't be able to find this note anywhere. It doesn't exist. But it registers as tuneful. It registers as a note, even though it technically isn't. And that's the thing about expression. Nobody's ever singing looking at these lines unless you are trying to work at your pitch, and it's literally a technical exercise. But when a great singer's singing, they just do what they do. And it's then when you look at it, you realise, well, maybe especially nowadays, the industry's taking their eye off the ball, thinking that you've got to be on these lines all the time, because the greatest voices of all time never were stuck to these lines. If anything, they were throwing in regularly bits of expression like this. But that's the difficult bit, is getting the expression. If you tried to sing in between these notes, again, you wouldn't be able to do it consciously. It's something that is a byproduct of emotion.
To understand. Let the devil take tomorrow.
I mean, I am just going to take that back, because I love seeing this kind of thing, the D sharp 4, and where the voice actually drifts a semitone flat, but again, it's a natural vocal, so it doesn't matter. And then here, where we've got this gradual ascension, and Sammi actually sings what would be the G sharp 4, 3 times in a row, and she gradually gets higher with it.
Let the devil take
Nah. So she's kind of sliding up to it, and each time that she does that, she's actually hitting a different place each time. And just on this little phrase, let the devil take tomorrow, is it?
devil take tomorrow.
Yeah, it is, because this caused a bit of controversy from what I was reading earlier. This was written by Chris Christopherson, which I've already mentioned. So it was him singing it, and that's the way that he wrote it from his point of view. But for now a female to be saying this, that, you know, let the devil take tomorrow, it's a lot more controversial, because let me just let it play on.
Lord, tonight I need a friend.
So it's because of that, Lord, tonight I need a friend. So it's, I know nowadays people will be thinking, what's controversial about that? But they didn't even want to release this, and the record label didn't want to release this song with Sammi singing it because they thought it was too controversial. So what they did is they gave it to some radio DJs just to let it air, to see what the response was like, if they had any complaints or anything like that. But everyone loved the song and loved the performance, so they did then release it. So yeah, to think that this was really controversial back in 1970 because it's a female singing about, you know, wanting something like a friend that evening, and let the devil have tomorrow, and all of that kind of stuff, also shows us this is a sign of the times, that a guy could say it fine, but a woman couldn't say it. But I mean, to think of how the times have changed, it's crazy. But Again, look at this. D sharp 4, absolutely bang on with that natural vibrato as well.
Yesterday is dead and gone.
Let's get that off the screen. So the D sharp 3 here, now that the piano's been removed, you can see how we are, between notes here. But again, it doesn't matter because you're listening to the story. And when we're looking at the C4, you can also see down here, the C sharp 3 is here, which means a semitone below this is the C3. So it means that we've gone down, the best part of an octave. But it's just this consistency of her sound. That is such a dramatic drop, but it still sounds great.
Yesterday is dead and gone.
Dead and gone. She's all the way down there with the control of the vibrato as well. That gone. Just she's got a handle on it the whole time. Let me just let it play on a bit.
And tomorrow's out of sight.
And even there, at the end, we get this kind of random wide vibrato at the out of sight, and it's kind of not the same as the first part, but this is great because this is just what her voice did.
And it's sad to be.
And again, look how between the notes we are here. And drifting again.
Help me make it through the night.
I mean, this is great as well because now we're into this humming of this. And you can still hear that that control of vibrato on the sound. And it's basically exactly the same as singing, but just with your mouth closed, going but having the vocal technique in there with a hum. Yeah, listen to those slides as well. And just peaking at that C4. I mean, this phrase here was, it's relaxed, but you can't get more accurate than this pitch-wise.
And it's sad to be alone.
Again, that, and it's sad, just kind of sliding up. And she's also got this, this little bit of vocal fry in there. I mean, it's really subtle, but let's listen again.
And it's sad.
And what it is really relaxed vocal cords in order to do this, to get that. And the more you kind of push and bring those vocal cords together, you go from that. Because the note is in there. That is the note, but it's in with that vocal fry. But I mean, it's quite complicated, but there's so much going on just in this phrase. And the reason that I mention it is because that's the cry in the voice. I mean, it's such an engaging sound when you hear a great singer singing in that kind of place, because it's really relaxed, first of all, so you're not thinking, oh, this singer's straining, but there's so much emotion in that of, almost doing that kind of cry, and then going back to it afterwards. But great vocalists have this ability to cry, throughout their whole range, so they can hit a really high note and put that cry on it as well.
I mean,
that was actually an even clearer example of the vocal fry there. I don't, just letting those vocal cords come together. I don't, to get that. I mean, it's great.
Want to be alone. Help me make it through the night.
And there we go, the last note. As for country artists that have passed us by, I think here in the UK, we're starting to get turned on to those artists. And I know that recently there was, I think, a country festival here, and artists from the USA came over to perform. And that's the first time that I've seen it get national exposure for actually promoting a country festival, and a lot of people went to watch it. So that, there are a lot of fans here, but especially in the mainstream, I don't think people will know a lot of country artists. So yeah, I'm not surprised that I haven't heard of Sammi, but it's great to hear her voice because it is so different. But it's great when you listen to a vocalist like this that you've never heard of before, but they have such a distinct sound to their voice. So then if you hear it in the future, you'll know that that's Sammi Smith's voice. Anyway, thank you guys for requesting this particular song for me to take a look at. As always, keep those suggestions and requests coming in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!